Welcome to Learn Commerce PU online classes. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Welcome to our second PU Computer Science online classes. In last class, we studied some important concept from networking concept here, the meaning of the networking and also some of the network goals, that is resource sharing, reliability, cost factor, communication medium, and also the need of networking. Some important point about the benefit or the uses of the networking, and also what about the first network, the name of the first network called as the ARPANET, Advanced Research Project Agency Network. So it was the first network, and also know some important OSI reference model. So in that totally 7 important layers are there. The layers are the physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, and the presentation layer, and last we can say about the application layer. Correct no here? That means the application layer contain a variety of the protocols, and all those protocols are needed by the user. Now let's, in today's class we are going to study some important protocols, the examples like our TCP IP, HTTP, FTP, SLIP, PPP. So all are the example for the protocols. Now let's, the first one we know that because the application layer, the application level protocol, the one example is the HTTP, and all those are commonly needed by the user. So what's the use of the TCP IP? Why we using the TCP IP? So here we can say that first of all, before going to start TCP IP, any explanation or what's the use of this protocol here, each and everything, let's first of all, what about the full form of the TCP IP? So the full form of the TCP IP, Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol. Clear this point here? TCP, Transmission Control Protocol, IP, Internet Protocol. Okay, we know that the full form of the TCP IP. So here we can say that the TCP IP is a layered set of protocols. So what about the layered set of protocols? The layered set of protocol means it is an application level protocol. Clear this point here? And we can say it is a standard set of the protocol also. So what about the protocol? A standard set of the protocol. So such a standard set of the protocol contain a variety of the rules here. So what are the rules are going to join in such protocol? That means the rules like what type of data may be transmitted from one computer to the another computer. So some of the rules it contain, all those protocol contain some of the rules like what type of data. We know that networking means here two computers are going to connect from one to another is called as the networking. The purpose to share the information, to share any kind of the resources from one computer to the another computer. So this is the purpose here. So we can say that the first rules of this protocol is that what type of data may be transmitted. Clear this point here? And the second point we can say that how or what type of command is used just only to send or receive the data, which type of command they were used in this case, or they are going to use to send or as well as to receive the data from one computer to the another computer, and how the data is going to transport. Clear this point here? Etc. are going to conform in such a set of the rules, that is called as the layered set of the protocols. So clear this point here? The meaning of the layered set of the protocols in this case. Okay, now after completing a layered set of the protocol, I want to tell some important point about our TCP IP. So the TCP IP assumes that there is a way to reliably communicate between two computers. That means by using the TCP IP, we can say that it's possible to make communication between two computers, between the networking computer. We know that two computers are going to interconnect, and the purpose is just to make the communication. The meaning of the communication here, to transfer any type of the resources, maybe the hardware, software, any data, or maybe any kind of the information programs from one computer to the another computer. So we can say that it is a way, or this protocol assumes that there is a way to communicate reliably between two computers with each other. So clear this point here. What about in this case here? And later we can say that in case of, why? Because it is an application level protocol, correct Nokia, and it defines some of the definition. So what are the definitions? Simply define the definition. The definition is the set of command or message to be sent. Clear this point? From one computer to the another computer. So this is the main definition of our TCP IP. That means whatever the command, whatever is there here, the set of command or message to be sent from one computer to the another computer. And lastly, we can say that the TCP is responsible for making sure that the command get through to the other end or not. So maybe if any command going to start to pass from one computer, whether such information, data or program, whether reach to the another computer or not. Yeah. So this is also it giving some of the, it taking some of the responsibility. So the TCP responsibility is that whether whatever the command is get through to the other end or not, whether reached properly or not here. So it keeps track of the data, what is to be sent. Clear this point here? That means whatever the data want to send from one computer to another computer, it keep all those record in this case here. So it keeps the we can say the track of the record, what kind of data is to be sent here. Or maybe sometime if the data not going to pass, that means it retransmit such data again. Clear this point here? So we can say that retransmit the command again here if the command is not going to reach properly here. So this is some of the important note about our TCP IP. So clear this point here. IP using in simple meaning, we can say that such protocol specially using to make communication between the computers here, and later it also taking some of the responsibility whether the set of the command is properly reached to the another computer or not. Whatever the data passed from the first computer, whether it's properly reached to the another computer or not here. So we can say that about our TCP IP is the base communication protocol of the internet. I already said about this point here, correct? No, because the TCP IP is specially going to use to make communication between the computer. It is a application level protocol, application protocol here. So we can say, we can very clearly we can use the word of the TCP IP is the base communication protocol of the internet, and this protocol works in a model or in a method like or based on the works like our catenet model. I am using the spelling CATENET, catenet model here. So what about the catenet model? I said here this protocol just based on the works, that means it works like our catenet model. Which protocol works like the catenet model? The TCP IP. Now what about the catenet model? So this model assumes that there are a large number of independent networks. We know the meaning of the network, interconnection of independent computer, autonomous computers are called as the network here. So we can say that the large number of independent networks are connected together by using the gateways. Clear this point here? All those networks, the independent networks are going to connect by using the device like our gateways here. Now what about the gateways? So clear this point here. What about, we know that the TCP IP just work like our catenate model. Now what about the catenate model? That means the meaning of the catenate model, we can say that the large number of the independent computers are connected together just by using the device like our gateways here. Now the meaning of the gateway. So it is a device, and this device specially using to connect dissimilar networks. Clear this one? So all such it is a device, and this device is using just to connect the networking. Clear this one here? The networks. So this is about our some point of the network here, and we know that if the computer is going to connect one to another, that means the user should be able to access the any resources, access the computer or other resources on any of these networks. Correct? No? If no any connection in between the computer, is it able to access any information? No. So we can say that we already know the TCP IP is using just to make the communication between the computer. That means the two computers are going to connect with each other. Here is called as the TCP IP by the users of the TCP IP here. Correct? No? So here just only we can say that if the connection is there, then sure the user can be able to access the computer. Access the computer means access any resources of any resources of these devices, any resources of the networks here. So clear this point about this one. So we can say that here that means our in our datagram. So in case of the datagram, so what about the datagram? The meaning of the datagram is we can say as the unit of the data. Clear this point here? The unit of the data, that means we know that maybe if any data going to reach to the next computer means it going to pass bit by bit from one computer to the another computer. Correct? No? Here bit, that means binary digit in this case here, bit by bit, one by one piece of information. It not going to pass one at a time, one by one it going to pass all those data here. So we can say that the datagrams called as the unit of data. Correct? No? Here the unit of the data are going to pass from dozen different networks. Maybe I want to pass from first computer to the 10th one computer. That means first of all it going to pass in networking the second computer, then second to the third to the fourth. So like that it going to pass. So we can say that maybe if any datagram wants to pass will often or provide or it going to pass from different dozen networks. Correct? No? Here and before getting their final destination. Clear this point? How it going to pass here? That means it going to pass from different computers and lastly it going to reach to their final destination here. So this is about some point in case of the TCP IP here. That means they just only I want to tell here the computer going to make the connection here from one computer to the another computer, and lastly we can say that maybe to connect the computer or maybe to pass any information from one computer to another computer, we should know the internet address. Correct? No? The internet address of each computer. So maybe one example for the internet address, the IP address of the computer, one example 128.97.38.1. so this is any type, just only one simple example I used here. It is the IP address. The IP address means by using the IP address we can connect to such computer and we can access any information from such computer here. So this is called as the IP address. If you want to connect, if you want to access any information, not just only with the use of TCP, we also need the IP, the internet protocol address. Clear this part here? The internet protocol address here. I already said how what about the address. So we can say that it is actually a 32-bit number, but normally written as the 4 decimal numbers. For example, 128.98.3.1. So it actually written as the 4 decimal numbers here. So finally we can say the information going to transfer as a sequence of datagrams. Correct? No? From bit by bit from one computer to the another computer here. So the meaning of the datagram for 1 mark question. So datagram is a unit of the data which is what the protocol deals with. Why we using? Just to pass the information from one computer to the another computer, the bit by bit information going to pass here. So clear the meaning of the TCP IP? Clear, no? So in simple 1 mark question, in simple words we can say that the protocol TCP IP transmission control protocol, internet protocol is using just to make the communication between the computer, or it is the base communication protocol of the internet. So clear about our TCP IP? Okay. After completing the meaning of the TCP IP, the next protocol name, it's a very important protocol. The first one is also, it's a very important. Now let's, the second important protocol name is the HTTP. Clear this point here? Now I selected the second protocol, the name of the second protocol HTTP. So what's the full form of the HTTP? Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Clear this point here? HTTP Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Okay, now let's, what's the use of the HTTP protocol? We know the full form as the, or stand for Hypertext Transfer Protocol here, and it is an application level protocol, correct, no? So such protocol which are commonly needed by the user. So what's the use of our HTTP protocol? As we know that TCP IP just to make the communication between the computers here, to access any information from one computer to another, we are using the TCP IP is the base communication protocol of the internet. So here we can say that like our TCP IP, the HTTP is also called as the application level protocol, and with the lightness, that means it is very lightweight protocol and also speed up protocol. Clear this point here? It going to work at very high speed here. If you are using such a protocol, it passing the information, or by using such protocol it possible to access any information from the web pages very quickly here. So we can say that it is a lightweight protocol and also very high speed protocol, and such a protocol necessary, or such a speed of the HTTP is necessary for the collaborative, distributive and hypermedia information system. Clear this point? So although speed is very necessary to access any information very quickly in a distributive manner, that means if you are going to access, it possible to pass such information very quickly to next computer here, and in our collaborative manner, as well as finally we can say that hypermedia information system. As we know that in our networking, in our internet, now in our website, not just only one page is there, a million or a number of pages are there. So maybe you want to access many pages from the website, it possible to access all those one by one. So is called as the hypermedia interlinked system. Clear this point here? Okay. Now we know that about our HTTP, and it is an application level protocol here, and which is commonly needed by the user. But why we using this one, this protocol? So we can say that which is the basis for the World Wide Web to access the web pages. Clear this point? What's the use of this protocol? TCP IP to make a communication, to make a connection. Okay, just to make the communication between two computers, we are going to use such a protocol. But HTTP is using just to connection. With that we can say that it possible to access any information through the net, internet here. So we can say about which is the basis for the World Wide Web here, and using to access to read the web pages. So clear this point? HTTP here. So we can say that the HTTP built on a discipline of references. Clear this point? It contain, or it is a standard set of the protocols. We know that what are the rules going to join in such a protocol. That means what type of command may be transmitted here, or we can say what type of command or what type of data may be transmitted, or what type of command is used to send or receive the data here, or how the data may be transmitted. So here we can say that not just only the TCP IP, the HTTP is also application level protocol. It is built on a discipline of references, and such discipline of references provided by our URI. Clear this point? Such discipline of references, whatever how we built such HTTP, so all those standard set of rules provided, or the discipline of the references rules that is provided by our URI. The full form of the URI is the Uniform Resource Identifier as a location of the URL. Clear this point here? So this is about our HTTP. So we can say that we know that the HTTP is using to pass the information like our TCP IP here, correct? No? So the message are passed to the HTTP. How we are passing the any message, any computer message from one to another by using the HTTP protocol. So like that only the messages are going to pass to the HTTP in same format that is used by our internet mail and also MIME. So what's the full form of MIME? The full form of the MIME is the multi-purpose internet mail extension. Clear this point here? That means it is also a protocol. So we using the internet protocol just to pass the information from one computer to the another computer to make some of the communication between the computer. Not just only by using the HTTP, it possible to pass the messages to the HTTP from one to another. With that we can also in similar format we can also some other protocols like our internet mail protocol. With that one more protocol is that is the MIME, that means the multi-purpose internet mail extensions. So clear? So lastly we can say the uses of the HTTP. Till here we know that how we build such a protocol here, that means provided or such a protocol is built on a discipline of references by our URI, Uniform Resource Identifier, correct? No, here it is a application level protocol here and using to access the web pages. So lastly our HTTP built in request method, correct here? So we can say that maybe this is our monitor, the client server, or maybe we need to use the HTTP, and later next one here some of the information is there in our server. So maybe if you want to display any information on our monitor, that means the HTTP providing some of the request to the server and later accessing some information, whatever the information you want to access, such information going to access from the server here and then displaying information on our monitor here. So we can say that the HTTP built-in request method here. And what's the use? So such protocol specially using to access the web pages here, and maybe we can say that to access the web page headers, whatever the information is that we can access by using such a protocol here. Not just only accessing, we can store any information by using the protocol, and we can connect the web pages here. We can remove the web pages. Is it possible? Okay, it can possible, correct? No, here by using, we know that by we using the HTTP, because to access the web page, to connect to the web page, or maybe if you don't want, you can remove the web page also here. So all are the users. Or lastly we can say that by using such a protocol, it possible to connect to existing resources as well as to break the existing connection between two resources. So this is some point about our HTTP. So clear the point about HTTP here. Okay, now we know that now just we completed TCP IP, with that our HTTP. So clear this point here. Okay, now after the HTTP, the next protocol name is the FTP. Here we know that the full form of the FTP, File Transfer Protocol. Clear this point here. The full form of the FTP, File Transfer Protocol. Now why we using the File Transfer Protocol here? So we can say that the one of the original service available on the internet. So all of the service only, not only the FTP, the TCP IP, HTTP, all are some important services only here. So but also we can say that the original service available on the internet, the name of the service called as the FTP, and was designed to allow for transferring of the files, okay, the transferring of the files from one system to another system. Now what's the meaning of this system? We can say the system, computer or node, machine, everything is called as the computer only. All are same. That is called as the computer. If I use the word NODE, node, machine, computer, system, so we can say that such protocol specially designed to allow transferring the file, okay, the transferring the file from one system to the another. So it goes by the name FTP, which stand for File Transfer Protocol. We know the full form, it's very important question also. The full form expand FTP, File Transfer Protocol. So any type of file can be transferred. We know that how many type of the files are there. So maybe whether the file is an ASCII file. We know the full form of the ASCII, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. That means it is called as the text file, or maybe any type of the file like binary file. They can be transferred to any system on the internet. Clear this point here? So we can say that by using the FTP protocol, in simple words we can say that by using such a protocol, it's possible to transfer the file from one computer to the another computer. Maybe you want to transfer any kind of the file, maybe the type like ASCII file, that is called as the text file, or maybe the file like a binary file. We already completed what about the ASCII file, what about the binary file, correct no here? So maybe if any information going to display, it is called as the text file here, or maybe that means some of the conversion is that is from binary file to the text file. And how it going to make the conversion? When you are going to add the \n, when you are going to add the end of line character, special character, delimiter character, on that time some of the translation going to occur here. Such type of file is called as the ASCII file. Or maybe whatever the information not going to convert, that means the EOL character not going to write here, no any conversion occur, no any translation occur here, such type of file is called as the binary file. So FTP, it possible using the FTP protocol, it possible to pass, it possible to transfer any type of the file, maybe the ASCII or the binary file. Okay, now later next one is about our advantage of the FTP. So what are the advantage of the FTP? So we can say that it is very useful. By using, why I use the word it is very useful? So here we can say that very useful to transfer the files, correct no here? We specially using to transfer the files from one network to the another, from one computer to the another, from one networking to the another network. Here we can make the transferring of the file. So this is the first advantage of the FTP. The second advantage, we can say that it is an effective way. Is it here? Maybe I want to transfer any file, then how? So by using the protocol like our FTP protocol, we can transfer the file. So it very easily cooperate on the project of other person only. Maybe if you have some of the file, that means by using FTP you can pass all those file here, and the other person can use such a file on their project or cooperate on their project. So this is about our second point here. And the last point, we can say that it is very popular way, correct no? That means mainly we are using the FTP to transfer the file here. So it is a popular way to sharing the file from or over the network, popular way to share the file over the network. Lastly, the FTP work as a client server process. Clear this point here? The FTP work as a client server process. So for example, if you are using the FTP protocol, maybe some information, some file is there in our first computer. By using the protocol like our FTP protocol, we can pass, we can transfer the file that is from first computer to the next computer. So we can say finally the FTP work as a client server process. So clear the meaning of the FTP to everyone. What about the FTP? Okay, now after the FTP, the fourth point is called as the SLIP. Clear this point here? SLIP. So what's the full form of the SLIP? The full form of the SLIP, Serial Line Internet Protocol. Clear this point here? Now just we completed the TCP IP, Transmission Control Protocol, Internet Protocol, specially using to make communication between the computer based communication protocol of the internet. Second, HTTP is using, what's the use of the HTTP to access any web pages, correct? No? Yeah, that means it is the basis of the World Wide Web to access the web pages here, application level protocol here. So this is about our HTTP, and later next one FTP. What's the use of the FTP protocol? To transfer the files from one computer to the another computer. We need to use some of the protocol. One example, that is the FTP, file transfer protocol. Now we are in our fourth protocol name. The name of the fourth protocol, SLIP. We know that the full form of the SLIP, Serial Line Internet Protocol. Now let's some information about our SLIP. So what's the first protocol? So first of all, or we can say that the Serial Line Internet Protocol was the first protocol here. But why we using such a protocol? Maybe it's a suitable protocol, or maybe it's a have some of the disadvantage in such a protocol. So we can say that before going to tell whether some of the advantage or some of the disadvantage about this protocol here, we can say such a protocol specially using to transmission or relaying. The meaning of the relaying means RELAYING. Relaying means transferring the information from one to another. So transferring or relaying the IP packet. We know that the meaning of the IP packet. The IP packet means our internet protocol packet. The packet means the piece of information. We know that in our packet switching, how we are going to pass the information. Whatever the lengthy message is that, all those message not going to pass one at a time. Such packet or maybe lengthy message is broken down into smaller parts here, and later part by part the such message going to pass here, and later while receiving at the or receiving end here, they adding some of the sequencing number to such packet, and like that they are going to reconstruct the message into a original message here. So we can say here in case of our SL relaying the IP packet, any kind of the information by using our or over here developed lines. Clear this one here? That means by using some of the wires in this case here, the developed lines here, and later we can say that the advantage is that it defines the encapsulation mechanism. So what about the encapsulation mechanism? The meaning of the encapsulation mechanism means here the operation of, or we can say here the combination of the function and data into a single unit. Clear this point here? The combination, maybe if any data is there going to pass, or maybe some of the function they want to operate by using such a protocol. So the combination of data and function going to use in a one unit only here, but little else. It's not going to define more in this case. So this is the advantage, but the disadvantage, we can say that there is no support for the dynamic address assignment. Maybe no any support for the address assignment here, no support for the linking in this case from one data to the another data, and there is no support for the multiplexing. Clear this point here? So because of some problem, they introduced one more protocol. The name of the protocol is called as the PPP. Clear this point? What about the SLIP? As we know that SLIP, Serial Line Internet Protocol here, and this protocol specially using to transfer the IP packet, any kind of information by using the developed lines. But we know that why we introduced the one more, that means the PPP, because of some disadvantage. There is no support for linking from one data to the another data, no support for the multiplexing here. Because of this reason, they introduced one more. The protocol name is the PPP protocol here.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.